Hey guys, I'd like to welcome all of you to the very first Christmas special of this channel. I'd like to thank my subscribers for being there since the beginning of my channel and, for sticking with me this time. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate all the views I've had on all my videos. If you guys ever need me to make anything for you, if you want to make a suggestion, let me know in the comments and I'll get it done. Put it in a video for you guys. Really want to thank you guys for being with me all this time. Have a good Christmas and enjoy the video. Now the first spaceship and model that I'm going to be reviewing today is the USS Pasteur from Star Trek. Now this is a medical ship characterized by the ball on front and just a general stepped shape at the back. Now this figure is really fragile. The nacelles break off really easily and the engine part can fall off as well. Now this is a pretty solid figure. The scale and the actual shape of it took a while to get correct, and the sloping of it, I didn't get it completely 100%, but I got it not too bad. The colors are a little off, but it plays the part. It's not exactly my best one, that's why it's going first. The best ones are always saved to last. So let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you think of this figure. I don't think it looks too great. Let me know what you guys think. It's really just filler. It's not the best one. I don't particularly like it very much. It's a cool ship, but not a very good model on my behalf. So let me know what you guys think, and let's move on to the next figure. The next spaceship I'm going to be reviewing is the Enterprise shuttle called the Galileo from Star Trek the original series. Now I like this figure a lot. It's smooth, it's white, it's got the nice accents on it, it's got nice but simple detailing on it, and it looks like a futuristic ambulance of sorts, which it could also be used in the sense. Now, it does have these nice nacelles at the bottom that are made using a lot of round pieces, and it's got some nice detailing up the top and the bottom for the engines and the intakes. It's got a big door at the back, so if you can put any cargo in there. Smaller door on the side, it's got the cockpit. Everything is really nice. It looks like it could be mass-produced pretty easily and ready to be put in an Enterprise model or diorama. As for some size comparisons, here it is next to the very fragile USS Pasteur, obviously not in scale, and it's a generally pretty solid figure. And by solid I mean it's a brick. It's a brick with little engines on it, but it's a nice looking brick and definitely a pretty decent one to make for yourself. So if you would like me to make it for you guys, let me know in the comments below and I'll put it in a future video. The next spaceship I'm going to be reviewing is the USS Enterprise from Star Trek the original series. Now the reason this is from the original series and not the newer reboot movies is because of the nacelles and the size of the bridge and the color. The one in the movie is more whitish and lighter and it has blue accents on it. I went for a lot of grey and these sort of beige colored nacelle tips. It also is a lot more simplified. These are straight instead of curved back, and I prefer the one from the original series than the newer one. Now, this figure has the shape up top. The dish is maybe a little small. I couldn't really do much to prevent that. It gets the nice curves of it. It's all nice and rounded as well, which is something I struggled with putting together for this guy. And yeah, he's alright. I kind of like it. It's definitely a very playable figure and a decent looking one. Now this figure does come with one major accessory, and that is a little Star Trek logo stand. So if you see this little arm here and this little stick at the back, these just peg together like that, and then you can have him posed on your desk, on your shelf or anything, and it just helps him stay off the ground and not get too dusty. It also looks really nice as a little desk piece, or just a little thing to commemorate your love of Star Trek to all the Trekkie fans out there that are probably not watching my videos currently. As for some size comparisons, here he is next to the Galileo, the shuttle from the Enterprise. Obviously these are in scale, or that would be pretty scary. And the USS Pasteur, also from Star Trek. So yeah, it's a pretty decent figure. I kind of like it. Let me know what you think down below, and if you would like to see me make it, please send me a little comment and I'll put it in another video. The next figure I'm going to be reviewing is the Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation. Now this was a really simple model to put together. It took me a very little amount of time and looks probably the best out of all of them. That's why I saved it to the last. It definitely plays the part. It has the nacelles at the back, the large oval shaped command bridge. It's got a lot of blue on it, well not a lot of blue, but it has blue on it, and some see-through red and a lot of light grey and dark grey, which resembles the old Lego space sets from ages ago. So yeah, I really like this. Now the spaceship doesn't come with any accessories as of yet. I may make some later on, but he does have some size comparisons we can do. Here he is next to the Enterprise Shuttle Galileo, the USS Pasteur, and another Enterprise, the Enterprise from the original series. Now these two may not exactly be in scale, but they do look pretty good together, and definitely worthwhile making. So if you would like to see these made, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a build video for them, as with all of the other spaceships and figurines that are going to be in this video. The next figure I'm going to be reviewing is my miniature version of Shin Godzilla from the 2016 movie. Now I love that movie. I watched it pretty recently and I thought it was great. I loved what they did with the classic take on the Monster Destroys Japan thing, and I really liked the soundtrack for it. It was really nice, great movie. I highly recommend it. So, the Godzilla in it, this is his fourth form. He has 3 forms in the movie. 4 forms, technically 5. He has his long tail, the signature black and red, and I tried to make him look as mangled as possible with the, I went for the rough kind of looking arms, for the spikes on the back. I used a lot of pointy pieces and ones with studs exposed on the legs as well. For the legs themselves, I made them all kind of rough. The chest has some detailing there, and the tail I used all these little ratchet pieces because one, it helps with the posability and keeping it upright like that for some poses, but it also makes it look more gnarled and twisted. As for the posability on this guy, his head can move a full 360. He doesn't have any posability in the arms, legs or waist, but the tail can move that far and that far, and it has a ratchet joint from up top down the bottom, a ratchet joint from up top down the bottom, another one, and another one. So all in all, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ratchet joints for the tail. The next figure I'm going to be reviewing is my version of Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim, the first one. The better one in my opinion. Now, the color of this guy is mostly dark blue, light grey, black, and you know, you got the yellow and the orange parts. And I think it works really well for this figure, both front and back and from all angles. He looks big, beefy, and menacing, and like he's about to punch some alien kaijus into oblivion. Now, this figure took me a while to put together. He's okay for posability, he has a few accessories, and I think he looks great. He's probably one of the best ones I have put together as of yet. As I mentioned before, posability on this guy isn't too bad. His head can very difficultly rotate side to side, like that. His arm can move up that far and back that far. His elbow can bend up and down at 90 with the other side, 90 degrees. If you move his arms up, you can get a full waist swivel. His legs can kick forward that far, however if they go any more they'll start to unpeg a little. So you just gotta push them back in. And they can kick, as I said, they can unpeg, but they can kick back that far. The knees have a nice smooth bend in them, and the feet can move forward, and then the heels can move down as well. So all in all, posability on this guy isn't too bad. I didn't make him so much for a model as some of the other figures to appear in this video. I mostly made him for playability, so you know, to be easier. Nothing's gonna fall off. It'll look alright, and it plays the part if you're gonna be playing with him in any games. Now, as for the accessories for this guy, you get a little nuclear reactor beam, and not one, but 2 chainswords. I'm currently working on a plasma cannon for his arms, but that may take a little bit of time. If I make a how to build video, I will include that in. So, to put on the little nuclear reactor piece, break off the stack and the little nuclear reactor on his chest, place that in the larger one and stick this on top, then just place that on his chest, and then bend the arms the way you want. You can bend them at 90 degrees and attach a chainsword, or have them at 180 and then put a chainsword, and you can just have them like that. And that isn't too bad of a look. You don't have to have them all in at the same time. You can just have the arc reactor and the chainswords, one chainsword and the nuclear reactor piece. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. But I don't think it's too bad. And if you don't want the chainswords to be equipped and you don't want to lose them, they just peg up top on the back of the figure. However, this can disrupt the waist swivel. With that in mind, I think it's a pretty solid figure. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and as always, if you would like to make anything for yourself, please let me know. Some size comparisons, here is with the only other kaiju I have currently, my miniature Shin Godzilla. Obviously they're not in scale, but you know, they don't look too bad together. You can make him like a giant version of the robot. The next figure I'm going to be reviewing is my version of animated Optimus Prime. Now this isn't supposed to be from the show Transformers Animated. This is supposed to be sort of like an anime version of him. This was requested to me by one of my friends, and I don't think I did too bad of a job. Let's hope he comments down below and tells me what he thinks. Now, you have extended smokestacks, a wider chest, longer, leaner legs, and he's got a bit of posability to him, and his head is a lot more stylized as well. So, as for the shape of him and the colour, he looks alright. He's got the nice reds, the blues, the whites, and the greys. That signature to Optimus Prime. And he definitely has the overall shape of him. So let's get straight on into the posability. Now, the posability on this guy is pretty good. It's about on par with some of my other figures. He has a loose rotation at the head. Arm can move 360. Elbow bends up that far. And back, flush with the elbow. His waist can swivel a full 360. His legs can kick forward that far and kick back that far. He has a knee bend, which is very tight and can sometimes break apart. And he has a nice limited toe bend. All in all, posability for this figure, it's pretty good. Now this figure wouldn't be one of mine if it didn't have a few accessories. So let's go get them. He doesn't have any accessories as of yet, they're still getting built. However, I may make a how to build video, and if I do, I will include the weapons. Now, this wouldn't be an Optimus Prime figure if it didn't transform, so let's get straight into that. First, move the arms up, then you want to rotate the waist around and push the legs forward. Next, you want to bend the feet back as far as they go, and just set them down. Next, you want to get the arms, bend them at 90 degrees or however far they move, and then set them on the ground. And here we have Optimus Prime in his truck mode. I'm just messing with you. He doesn't actually transform. I went for a more statue or figurine mode than a legitimate transformer. I've passed that step on my channel. I'm probably not going to go back to making transformers. Maybe in future videos if I feel like it. Now for some size comparisons. Here he is next to Shin Godzilla, Gypsy Danger, and the other Transformer thing I made, the Ark from Transformers Generation 1. Well, I don't mind this figure too much. It looks alright. Posability could be a little bit better. I could try and make it transform. It's probably not going to look too good though. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Rate it out of 10. And as always, if you would like anything made yourself, or if you would like me to make anything on this channel, just let me know. The next figure I'm going to be reviewing is the RX-78-2 Mobile Suit Gundam from the hit anime series. Now, as you can see, this guy does not have the sturdiest of leg joints, so he is a pain to stand up, and that's also due to the fact that he has really small feet. But anyway, I love the colors of this guy. The white, the blues, the reds, the yellows, the oranges, all of it really comes together really nicely and makes this, it makes it like it's a cartoon in your hand pretty much. Along with the stylization of the head with the horns. He has the swords that are just for show, they don't do anything, but he's got sort of a pseudo backpack there. He's got this kind of waist, little belt buckle there. All in all, he's pretty solid. I really like this guy, and he has a nice solid weight to him. He's definitely a really nice figure to just have in your hand. You can pose him on a shelf or whatever. He's really good to have around. I like this guy a lot. As for the posability on this figure, he has a pretty loose head swivel that allows him to look 360. His shoulders can move a full 360, and his elbows can bend that far and back that far. As mentioned before, he does have really loose leg joints, but they're on one connected pin, but you can move them separately like this, so you can get some scissor action.
Oh yes.
And he does have a waist swivel that can be interrupted by the arms, so if you have them just flat on the sides, you can utilize that full swivel. Now, he has a tight knee bend and a relatively tight toe bend. But yeah, so posing him isn't the most fun, but when you can get him into a couple of poses, and if you have a stand for him, it looks okay. As for the accessories for this guy, we have his beam rifle and the shield with a little window in between. So this just has a little clip at the back and just goes straight into his hand like that. And the gun does the same. Just click that up the top like that. And there he has his little beam gun and shield. Now the shield and the gun do weigh this guy down a lot, so you do need to make a stand. So in a later video I'll show you guys how to make stands if you are going to make any of these figures. If you do want to make any of them, let me know in the comments and I'll make another video for them later on. Now you can attach the weapons and the guns and the shield to his back. So I like to get the shield, it has all these studs on it. I actually like to clip that straight into the shoulder and get the gun and put the gun in the middle. That's just my preference. You could also put the shield in the middle, have the gun on the side. It doesn't stick too well though because of the scope and the bulk on top. It's up to you how you want to pose this guy. I like it on the other side, but hey, your preference. So please rate this guy down in the comments what you think, and if you have any improvements or other things you'd like me to make, put them down there as well. As for a size comparison, here he is next to animated Optimus Prime, Gypsy Danger, and Shin Godzilla. Now, he's not really in scale with any of these characters, but he's relatively in scale with my next build. So why don't let's get straight. The last figure I'm going to be reviewing is the Evangelion Unit 1 from the show Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh yes.
Now I really like this figure. I like how the greens, the greys, the oranges and the purples complement the black. I think it really looks like it's put under neon or blacklight. I really think I nailed the general shape of the figure with the long legs, the long sort of hunched torso, the large shoulder plates, and the really kind of lanky proportions. And yeah.
A little bit spicy.
Figure, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Now, this figure wouldn't be worthwhile making if it didn't have some posability on it. So, it has a side-to-side rotation at the head. The shoulder blades can move forward that far and back that far. The actual shoulders themselves can move forward this far and back that far, and they can swivel at the bicep. The elbows can bend up that far and back that far It's a nice smooth waist swivel. It can be a little too loose at times, but you know, I don't let it get to me that much. The legs can kick forward very high and kick back very high as well. His knees have a real nice bend in them, and the ankles move forward and back like that. So all in all, posability on this guy, it's pretty good. I kind of like it. It's probably the most posable figure I have ever made. Now likewise with the posability, this figure wouldn't be worthwhile making if it didn't have a few accessories to go with it. So we have a little handgun, my take on the pallet rifle, a little knife and a chainsaw blade thing, and the umbilical cord. Now these can all attach on the figure in some way, however there's no way to store the guns on the actual figure other than its hands. So let's get right into that. So I like to take the handgun and just plug that right into his left hand, and then take the pallet rifle, plug that into his right hand, like that. And then I'd like to take the sword or the knife, put that up there, and then the little chain sword, put that there. Then you come to the back, take the umbilical and attach it there. And there you go. There is your Evangelion Unit 1 with its accessories. Now if you didn't want to have the guns on, you can just take them off, put them to the side, then take the knife off and the chain blade off. And I kind of like to bend the arm, bend it at the elbow, stick the knife in the back, and then do the same to the other side. Like so. And you kind of get that dual wielding blade look, which I think looks pretty cool. Now for some of the size comparisons, and I gotta say, this guy is definitely a big boy. Here he is next to the Gundam model I made that featured earlier in this video. Here he is next to the animated Optimus Prime that I made. Here he is next to miniature Gypsy Danger. And next to mini Shin Godzilla. Now I really like this figure, and while I haven't seen too much of the show Neon Genesis Evangelion, I really like what they did with the robots. I love the kind of bionic look to them, and truthfully, this is a pretty solid figure in my standards, so let me know in the comments what you think of it. Do you think I did a good job? Should I continue watching Neon Genesis Evangelion? And if so, let me know if you want me to make anything else, and it might be in another future video or even a future Christmas special. As stated at the beginning of the video, I'd like to thank all of you for being with me through this time. Have a great Christmas, and let's look forward to a great year in 2020. Some more future Nasaman videos, and as always, if you need anything built, let me know and I will put it in a future video for you. Thank you guys so much for being there. See you later.